Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers: will Brooke Lynn see Sasha's pregnancy as an opportunity to adopt a baby? According to General Hospital spoilers, Sasha Gilmore Corbin became pregnant by accident. Brooke Lynn Quartermaine didn't expect to have to deal with it inside her own home. She's grieving the loss of what could have been right now, knowing that her husband, Harrison Chase, is unable to father a child with her. Why is it so simple for Sasha to become pregnant by accident after a one-night encounter, when she's been trying for months after meeting her perfect life partner? Brooke Lynn may set her sights on the prize while grappling with the truth of that dilemma. Will she perceive Sasha's unforeseen consequences as an answer to her own prayers? General Hospital spoilers: misery loves company. The Quartermaine mansion is currently a hotbed of heartbreak, with Brooke Lynn in the center of it all. She's struggling with the heartbreaking fact that she and Chase will be unable to produce a child together owing to his fertility issues. This change of events has left her broken, and her aspirations of motherhood seem further away than ever. Meanwhile, the discomfort and tension in the house are increasing. Dante Falconeri is in mourning after Sam McCall's terrible death, and Chase is also distraught, sharing Brooke Lynn's anguish. As everyone tries to deal with their own personal sorrows, Sasha's unintentional pregnancy stands out like a beacon, underlining the stark contrast to Brooke Lynn's misfortune. GH spoilers tease: Brooke Lynn Quartermaine could become unhinged. Currently on an emotional roller coaster, Brooke Lynn may become fixated on Sasha's pregnancy to the point of obsession. Brooke Lynn may glorify the scenario, seeing it not only as a terrible reminder of what she cannot have, but also as a viable solution to her longing for motherhood. Her mind can start to spin, focusing all of her hopes and goals on Sasha's unborn kid. This focus may push Brooke Lynn into unknown territory of conduct, where her desire to become a mother may cloud her judgment, leading to activities that are not in her or anyone else's best interests. General Hospital spoilers: a scandal awaits. In her sadness and preoccupation, Brooke Lynn may take an extreme step by proposing to Sasha that she and Chase adopt the baby rather than Sasha raising it herself. This could be interpreted as a means of protecting the child from the father, especially if the story shifts to Jason Morgan pretending to be such. This suggestion would come from a place of tremendous suffering and a distorted perception of opportunity, but it would definitely surprise everyone involved. Sasha, who is still adjusting to her abrupt life change, would most certainly be shocked by the suggestion. Such a move by Brooke Lynn could spark a controversy that threatens the basis of their friendships and familial bonds. The concept of asking Sasha to give up her kid, especially under such emotional duress, would expose Brooke Lynn's unstable and unpredictable side, potentially alienating her from those she cares about. What are your thoughts? Will Brooke Lynn get that far gone? General Hospital spoilers: family fights, Jackie heats up, and overdue apologies. General Hospital spoilers and updates for the week of Monday, February 10th to Friday, February 14th include family confrontations, Jackie heats up, and an overdue apology. Jason and Tracy Quartermaine clash, Jack Brennan and Carly Spencer get heated, and Cody Bell offers a belated apology. On Monday, February 10th, Jason and Tracy clash over Cody's baby daddy allegations, while Ava Jerome's ruse fails miserably. Meanwhile, Carly makes a promise, after learning how far Nina Reeves will go to get Drew Quartermaine out of the picture. Nina had requested Carly to assist her end Drew and her daughter, Willow Corinthos' relationship for good, for the sake of their common grandkids. Meanwhile, Willow is torn. Perhaps she feels bad for cheating on Michael Corinthos with his uncle? Additionally, Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor spend some quality time together. Warnings issued in Good News Tuesday, February 11th. Curtis Ashford has issued a warning to his ex-wife, former spy and officer Jordan Ashford. This warning is most likely related to Jordan's undercover sting, which was approved by Anna Devane, of Jen's Sidwell. Elsewhere, Sonny Corinthos receives some positive news, possibly about his heart condition. Isaiah Gannon and Elizabeth Baldwin offer their condolences. Meanwhile, Cody opens out to Felicia Scorpio, and Jason meets with Sasha Corbin. On Wednesday, February 12th, Jackie heats up as Carly and Brennan hit the streets on an actual date. Explanations are demanded. Elsewhere, explanations are expected from Jocelyn Jacks, possibly from Anna, who advised her to keep away from the Cyrus Renault case. Also, Jason returns from Baden-Baden and sits down with his son Danny Morgan, most likely to discuss Sam McCall's murder. Meanwhile, Alexis Davis requests a favor from Tracy. Additionally, Isaiah and Christina Corinthos Davis become closer acquainted. Overdue apologies and food for thought. Thursday, February 13th. Cody offers an overdue apology to either Sasha or Jason. Elsewhere, Nina gives Sonny some food for thought, maybe about Willow and Drew's position with their common grandchildren. In the meantime, Harrison Chase confesses to someone. Returning to Sasha, she is taken aback. What could this mean? Also, Elizabeth reassures Rick Lansing. Reservations and revelations. Friday, February 14th. Rick has some reservations, while his daughter Molly Lansing Davis has a revelation. Elsewhere, Molly's sister Christina is furious over something. Meanwhile, their mother Alexis makes her case to Jason, potentially about allowing Danny to live with her. Ava receives an offer. Could it be for her second gallery building, which she can no longer afford? Could this be related to the Esplanade project Sidwell was negotiating with Drew about? Laura Wright of General Hospital addresses the romance rumor she was happy to feed. We'd like to preface this by emphasizing that spreading rumors about someone is never okay. Laura Wright of General Hospital demonstrated that rumors can be entertaining at times. The actress accompanied Maurice Benard, Finola Hughes, Tanisha Harper, Cameron Matheson, and Donnell Turner on a trip to the Jennifer Hudson show. They discussed General Hospital, reminisced about the late Leslie Charleson, and played some trivia about their characters, which you can see in the video below. But then Hudson asked the group if they had any favorite rumors about themselves. Wright knew immediately what she wanted to communicate. One of my favorite rumors, she revealed, occurred in 2017. Donnell and I were going to an Emmy party, and I asked, "Are you going? Do you want to use Uber or get a ride together?" And he said, "I'm driving," so I accompanied Donnell to the party. And that was on a Wednesday night. If you've been watching soap operas for a while, you've already figured out where this is heading. On Saturday, there was a gifting suite for the Emmy Awards, Wright stated. I come in, and Donnell runs up to me and says, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure how this happened." And I'm like, "What happened?" And he says, "There's a rumor and an article going around that you and I are dating." At this moment, Wright absolutely dropped her jaw in ecstatic astonishment. All the time, Turned laughed behind her. I said, "Oh my, thank you," she continued. And he says, "What, you're not mad?" I said, "Are you kidding me? Look at you." "No, I am not mad. I'm newly single. I don't care if we spread rumors." Honestly, can you blame her? Of course, Wright was not lonely for long. The same year, she began dating General Hospital's former Peter, Wes Ramsey. The rest, as they say, is history. General Hospital spoilers, Willow tells Drew these 4 words after discovering he slept with Nina. According to General Hospital teasers, Willow Corinthos may have 4 words for Drew Quartermaine after discovering he slept with Nina Reeves. Willow is taken up in her fantasy of Drew, but she is about to be rudely awakened. Willow considers Drew to be a hero and someone she can rely on. Willow found a new rescuer in Drew, so she shoved Michael Corinthos aside and ended their previously happy marriage. However, Willow is unaware of one critical detail that might change everything. While Willow was falling hard for Drew, he was secretly having amazing hookups with Nina. Drew has made Willow feel like the lady he has always wanted and the only one for him. Even if this is true now, it does not erase the fact that Drew and Nina had a shady affair without Willow's knowledge. Nina has sworn off Drew at this point, and he doesn't seem to want to sleep with her again. Nonetheless, what's done is done, and Drew and Nina will eventually have to deal with the consequences of their actions. On a soap opera, secrets seldom remain hidden for long, so what happens when Willow discovers this Nina and Drew shocker? Willow will undoubtedly lash out at Nina, but let us first consider her attitude to Drew. Drew slept with Willow's mother multiple times and never said anything about it, so how is she expected to accept it? Willow's admiration for Drew may quickly turn to detest, leaving her completely repulsed. As a result, Willow may say these 4 words to Drew when she discovers he slept with Nina: "I detest you, Drew." Despite Drew's attempts to explain, Willow may wash her hands of him and realize she has made a grave mistake. Could this be good news for Michael and his quest to reconcile his family with Willow? Could Willow and Michael still have a future together if he eventually returns to GH? According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow's perspective will undoubtedly change after the truth about Nina and Drew is revealed, so stay tuned for predictions on all of the mayhem. What about Laura? Don't mind if we do, by honoring the iconic Jeannie Francis on the anniversary of her General Hospital debut. Laura had already been in Port Charles for a few years when Jeannie Francis made her General Hospital debut on February 8, 1977. It's difficult to picture anyone else playing the role. Originally played by Stacey Baldwin, the character of Laura served as a source of drama for Leslie Williams, who realized that her daughter had not died after all. Frances Laura was an older teen who was more than just a plot device, she was also a plot engine. Furthermore, she didn't just swim with the youthful crowd, these were her Scotty days, after all, but dove right in with the adults. One of the eventual Emmy winners' early plots saw Laura being tempted by the creep David Hamilton. David, an old friend of Laura's stepfather, Rick Weber, attempted to have his way with Leslie as part of a revenge scheme. When she rejected him down flat, he moved on to her daughter, and succeeded. Laura's early affair did not end well. When David disclosed that he had only been using her, she was so enraged that she threw him down, and, owing to the soap laws of cause and effect, he banged his head on the fireplace and perished. And that was Frances' first year as Laura, a teenage affair with an adult man and a murder rolled into one delectable story. Watch her devastating murder confession to Luke Spencer a few years later below. Needless to say, we quickly saw that Frances and her alter ego were in for a tremendous future. And she has not let us down in the past 4 decades. Troubled relationships have been a recurring theme for the heroine, from her rough beginnings with Luke and his rape of her to her capture and forced marriage to Stavros Cassadine. Also, we discovered a few years ago that Laura was a touch murder-happy in the late 1970s, when she accidentally killed Rick's mistress, Teresa Carver. Laura has progressed from rebellious adolescent and campus disco waitress to frickin' mayor of Port Charles. She's fought supervillains and the mafia, and she's stood up to gangster Frank Smith and mother Helena Cassadine. And she's progressed from angry adolescent to passionately protective matriarch, raising 3 children and blessed with 4 grandchildren. Oh, there was also the most watched daytime event in history thing with Luke and Laura's 1981 wedding. That feat has yet to be surpassed, and, to be honest, it is unlikely to be. All of this is impossible to imagine without Frances. That could explain why, after multiple appearances on General Hospital, the role has never been recast. Frances always returns, with Laura a bit wiser, more confident, and ready to face anything Port Charles throws at her. Drew Quartermaine and Nina Reeves have made a crucial mistake. They had convinced themselves that their former affair, their passionate moments behind closed doors, would be buried. However, in a village where secrets were valued more than spoken words, nothing remained hidden indefinitely. And now, the ultimate reckoning was approaching. The weight of a lie. Willow Corinthos had no idea her world was about to fall. She had been fighting to rebuild and regain a feeling of stability in the aftermath of everything she had gone through. The battle with leukemia had taken its toll, but she had survived. Her marriage with Michael Corinthos had failed, but she had persevered. And now she was trying to carve out a new life for herself, one that would provide her with the calm she had been seeking. Drew had been a rock of support, or so she thought. He'd been there for her when she needed him, a constant presence in the midst of mayhem. But that was the illusion he had painstakingly created. The truth was substantially different. The truth was about to come out. In a town like Port Charles, secrets were rarely kept only by the people who made them. Drew and Nina had assumed that their history would remain in the past. However, far too many people knew. For example, consider Ned Quartermaine. He was aware of the affair and had kept the information to himself as leverage, waiting for the proper time to use it. His mother, Tracy Quartermaine, has her own motives for keeping an eye on things. Sasha Corbin had overheard whispers of the romance, but she wanted to remain out of the conflict. And then there was Cody Bell. Cody wasn't simply a bystander. He had direct knowledge of Drew's transgressions. Unlike the others, he had nothing to lose. Cody Bell's grudge. The rivalry between Cody and Drew was not new. It had been seething beneath the surface for months, waiting for the perfect opportunity to boil over. Cody had previously attempted to use his knowledge of Drew's affair as a negotiating chip, but the power dynamics had shifted, and Cody now found himself forced into a corner with nothing to show. Drew had defeated him once, humiliated him, and left him with little options. Drew hadn't considered Cody's temper, which was risky. Especially because he possessed a secret that could destroy everything. A slip of the tongue. It wasn't planned. It wasn't a great strategy to bring Drew down. The truth emerged in the same way that so many truths did in Port Charles, in the heat of the moment, when emotions were high and restraint was non-existent. Cody hadn't intended to expose Drew, at least not in that moment. But a fight had been developing between them for weeks, and when they finally met at the Brown Dog, it was unavoidable that things would get out of hand. It began with a furious exchange, words loaded with barely contained aggression. Drew, ever the politician, attempted to retain control, his voice measured even as his patience waned. However, Cody was not interested in playing games. "You walk around like you're some saint," Cody said, his eyes flashing with rage. "Like you've got it all figured out, like you're better than everyone else. But we both know what you are." Drew's jaw was clenched. Cody laughed bitterly. "You don't know a damn thing about me." "Don't I? Maybe Willow should know who she's really dealing with. Maybe she should know what kind of man you are." That's when Willow, who had inadvertently wandered into the midst of the storm, froze. "What is he talking about?" Her voice was soft but heavy, demanding an answer. Drew's entire tone shifted in an instant. "Nothing. Cody's drunk. He doesn't know what he's saying." But Cody wouldn't let him off the hook. "Oh, I know exactly what I'm saying," Cody retorted, moving closer. "How about you tell Willow about your little arrangement with Nina? Or should I?" It was quiet. A dense hush that appeared to suck the breath out of the room. Willow stared at Drew, her eyes filled with perplexity and a glimmer of comprehension. "What is he talking about?" Drew's hesitancy provided all the confirmation she needed. The fallout. The world around Willow appeared to shift, with the foundation she had created falling beneath her. It wasn't only about the affair. It was about the falsehoods. Drew had been the only person she had allowed herself to trust. He was the one she had turned to when everything else had failed. And now she realizes he's been lying to her all along. Her chest clenched as the weight of the knowledge fell on her. "You lied to me," she said softly, shaking her head. "You lied to me the entire time." "Willow, she interrupted him before he finished. "I trusted you," she replied, her voice becoming stronger and furious. "I let you into my life. I let you into my children's lives. And you," she choked, the betrayal too profound to express. "You were sleeping with my mother while pretending to care about me?" Drew lunged for her, but she backed away. "It wasn't like that." "It wasn't?" She laughed bitterly. "Then what was it?" he asked. Because there was no explanation. Tracy's role in the unraveling. Cody may have let the secret out, but Tracy Quartermain was the one who put the last nail in Drew's coffin. She had always known the truth and had guarded it like a weapon ready to be unleashed. Tracy sensed an opportunity when Willow finally recognized Drew for who he truly was. She presented the evidence coldly and unequivocally. A recording. A conversation with no space for uncertainty. Drew's demise was not only sealed, it was televised for all to see. Willow's next move. Betrayal has the ability to change individuals. Willow had always been known for her ability to forgive and see the best in others. But this was different. She wasn't only hurt. She was finished. With Drew. With the lies. Allowing herself to be manipulated by men who professed to care about her but only served their own interests. As she walked away from Drew that night, she knew one thing for certain: she was done allowing others to rule her life. And from now on, she would make the decisions. Even if this meant standing alone. General Hospital spoilers: Sidwell is Natalia's ex-husband, and the former flamer is now stalking Sunny's girlfriend. General Hospital spoilers state that Jen Sidwell is Natalia Ramirez's ex-husband. Natalia's previous flame appears to be pursuing Sunny Corinthos' girlfriend, which means problems. Of fact, Sunny and Natalia have not yet defined their relationship, but they are on their way to becoming a pair. Natalia cared about Sunny enough to accompany him to his private cardiologist appointment in Los Angeles, which says a lot. Unfortunately, someone else is now aware of Sunny's cardiac difficulties, and that person is Sidwell, who had a goon following Natalia. Sidwell was surprised to find Natalia accompanied Sunny to a cardiologist's clinic in Los Angeles after the goon had followed her there. This is bad news for Sunny, so let's talk about the drama that is developing. For starters, it's clear that Sidwell is taking on the role of Sunny's new adversary, thus knowing Sunny's weakness is perilous. Sidwell will undoubtedly exploit Sunny's vulnerability now that he is aware of it. Naturally, Natalia is hooked to Sunny like glue, which Sidwell will not approve of. Sidwell's eyes virtually popped out of his head when he discovered Natalia was with Sunny in LA. Natalia and Sunny's growing romantic relationship will further increase Sidwell's desire to pursue Sunny in the coming weeks. Our GH predictions indicate that Natalia is Sidwell's ex-wife, and she most likely left him because he was dominating and dangerous. Since we know Natalia has a kid named Eloy from a prior relationship, Sidwell is most likely his father. Natalia may have been the one who escaped, and Sidwell may be determined to find her. Sunny is the competition, so that will only add to Sidwell's list of reasons to eliminate him from the map. According to General Hospital teasers, Sidwell's past with Natalia will cause additional obstacles for Sunny, so stay tuned for updates on all of the mayhem. Vanessa Marcel from General Hospital unveils a shocking new look. When it comes to appearances, many people enjoy changing things up every now and again to renew their look. Get ready, fans, because Vanessa Marcel of General Hospital has revealed a startling hair makeover. The former ABC soap star shared 2 photographs on social media to showcase her new hairstyle, along with a message on aging. "People never tell men to age gracefully," Marcel explained. "I plan to mature ungracefully and have fun. Think Cher but unlikable." In the first photo, the actress, wearing shades, showed off the hot pink appearance, while in the second, she took a sideways glance to give her fans another perspective on her latest style. "We're all for exploring new things and aging ungracefully, and Marcel really nailed it." Given the courageous, bold decision, it's difficult to believe Marcel didn't think she was attractive enough to play Brenda many years ago. In a recent video interview with Mark Teschner, the soap's famed casting director, the actress nearly fled the audition for the iconic part. "If I had been a minute later to open the door," he said, "she would not have auditioned for the role." We're glad Teschner opened the door when he did, and we applaud Marcel for teaching people that it's okay to make adjustments that make you happy. He had spent years idolizing his father, seeing Dante Falconeri as the type of man who always did the right thing and stood up for justice at all costs. But what he was about to find would fundamentally alter that belief. A simple twist of fate was about to reveal a long-buried truth, one that would send Dante reeling, Brooklyn Quartermaine scrambling, and Lois Cerullo feverishly attempting to preserve control of the story. Finally, everything Rocco believed he knew about his family was turned upside down. A son's unexpected discovery. It all began with an accident, being in the wrong location at the right moment. Rocco had never been the type of child who went looking for trouble. He had grown up knowing that Port Charles was full of secrets, but he never anticipated that one of the most important would involve him directly. Yet there he was, held in place in the Quartermaine estate's hallway, overhearing a discussion he was never supposed to hear. Lois Cerullo's voice was harsh and urgent as she spoke quietly to someone on the other end of the phone. "We had to do what was best for the baby," she argued, her voice heavy with the weight of past decisions that had come back to haunt her. Dante never had to know. Brooklyn never had to know. It was better this way. Rocco felt his breath catch in his throat. A baby? A secret? He took a hesitant step back, his thoughts whirling. Lois continued to speak, each sentence eroding away at the foundation of what he believed he knew. Brooklyn gave birth to Dante's kid. Then she gave him away. And Lois had been the genius behind everything. Dante's world collapses. Rocco had always taken pride in being mature for his age, understanding how to remain calm in the face of adversity. But this was something else entirely. By the time he confronted Dante with what he had overheard, the tempest within him had reached a breaking point. "You lied to me." His tone was too cool, which made Dante's stomach sink. "What are you talking about?" Dante inquired, perplexed by the intensity in his son's gaze. Rocco clenched his hands. "I overheard Lois. I know everything." Dante's blood raced cold. He knew without more explanation that his son had discovered something he was never meant to know. But before he could react, before he could try to piece things together on his own, Rocco administered the decisive blow. "Dad, Brooke Lynn had your baby. And she gave him away." The words were like a gunshot to Dante's chest. For a long time, he couldn't breathe. He could not think. He could barely process what his kid had just said. "That's not possible," he said, shaking his head. No. Brooke Lynn would have informed me." But even as he spoke, skepticism crept into his tone. "Will she have? Would Lois have allowed it? If he had another child, what impact would this have on everything he has built?" Brooke Lynn's guilt. Brooke Lynn never considered herself a liar. She'd spent years trying to do the right thing and make amends for her previous errors. But as she stood face to face with Dante, seeing the betrayal in his eyes, she realized there was no way to explain herself without sounding like an excuse. "I didn't know," she replied gently. "I swear to you, Dante. I didn't know." Dante remained silent for a long time, his mouth hard as he regarded her. "Then explain it to me," he finally responded, his voice unsettlingly calm. "Because my son just told me that you gave birth to my child, and I need to hear from you how that happened without you knowing." Brooke Lynn took a big breath. "I was young. I was afraid. And my mother," she broke off, knowing that no matter what she said next, Dante's world had just been shattered. Lois had organized everything. She had persuaded Brooke Lynn that it was for the best, that notifying Dante would make no difference, and that the boy deserved a life away from the chaos of Port Charles. And Brooke Lynn believed her. Years later, that decision had returned to haunt her in the worst possible way. The search for the truth, but the largest question remained. Where was the youngster now? Rocco had heard just enough to realize that Lois was not as clueless as she claimed. "She knows where he is," Rocco said Dante later, his voice fraught with frustration. "She's always known," Dante said with certainty. "Not for 1 second. And if Lois thought she could keep this a secret much longer, she was about to discover how incorrect she was." The search was on. Dante was determined to find his son, whatever it took. And, in the process, he would have to determine what to do with the people who had deceived him, especially Brooke Lynn and Lois, who had kept his child hidden from him for years. But as the days went and Dante and Rocco grew closer to the truth, another name started appearing. Giovanni Gio Palmieri. Was it his son? Was this the missing piece of the puzzle? Was Dante ready for what came next? The fallout that could change everything regardless of what happened next. One thing was certain, Port Charles will never be the same. Brooke Lynn would have to confront the repercussions of her previous decisions. Lois would have to account for her dishonesty. Rocco would have to accept the fact that his family was considerably more difficult than he had anticipated. And Dante? Dante would have to come to terms with the notion that he had missed years with a son he never knew existed. But, before anything else could happen, and before the dust could settle, the truth had to be revealed. And Port Charles was about to be shook to its foundations. General Hospital spoilers: Steve Burton's ex-wife has a shocking impact on his life. According to General Hospital spoilers and updates, Steve Burton, who plays Jason Morgan, has been having serious problems with his ex-wife, Sherry Gustin. Steve had to run to court after he and Sherry disagreed on key things in their divorce and shared parenting agreement. Steve and Sherry's divorce was finalized in 2024. Burton is well known for his soap opera roles. He initially played Jason Morgan, previously Quartermain, on General Hospital in 1991, a character he has played occasionally since. His stellar experience includes appearances as Harris Michaels on Days of Our Lives and Dylan McAvoy on The Young and the Restless. On the personal front, Burton married Sherry Gustin in 1999 and has 3 children together. However, by 2022, he stated that he and Sherry had split up, with their divorce formalized the following year. According to In Touch Weekly, court filings show Steve filed for divorce in November, stating that Sherry breached their divorce agreement. The funds were to be split between their children. The deal struck in December 2023 established that they would share joint legal and physical custody of their children, with Steve agreeing to pay $12,500 per month in child support. At the time, the funds were divided among their 3 children. Their adolescent son won $2,500, while their younger daughter received $10,000. Now that their son is an adult, Steve's primary responsibility is to support his daughter. In addition, Steve has agreed to pay Sherry $50,000 a month, despite the fact that she forfeited her right to spousal support. However, in a motion filed in November 2024, Steve claimed that Sherry was blocking him from spending time with their daughter Brooklyn, which contradicted their previous arrangement. The Tennessee move caused major issues. He also claimed that Sherry expressed an interest in moving from California to Tennessee in 2023. The family had previously lived in the Nashville area, with Steve owning a restaurant. Assuming this was a permanent transfer, Steve terminated his lease on his California property and planned to relocate as well. He even remodeled his Tennessee home and sought a tenant to evacuate. Steve explained, "As a result, I lost the rental income one used to receive from my Tennessee property. I also resigned from my work at Days of Our Lives and got a new employment to accommodate my new living circumstances." But then he claims Sherry upended everything and changed direction. Sherry then wanted to return to California. Eventually, Sherry decided to return to California. Steve stated, "Had it not been for Sherry's choice to move, I would never have turned my life upside down by coming to Tennessee." He also stated that the ramifications of her move had an impact on his connection with their daughter. Steve stated, "Sherry has definitely complicated my ability to spend time with Brooklyn and take her to Tennessee for some significant times together. She's even insisted that I give her advance notice and seek her permission before I can spend time with Brooklyn. Sherry won't allow Brooklyn to travel to Tennessee." Sherry reportedly prevented Brooklyn from traveling to Tennessee, forcing Steve to travel to California to be with her. Steve stated, "While I frequently travel to California for work, I no longer have a residence there since I terminated my lease when I relocated to Tennessee." It was reported that Steve attempted to create a visiting schedule after being rehired at GH. In response, Sherry called his allegations disingenuous, underlining that Steve's employment was in California, not Tennessee. She also stated that Brooklyn's travel troubles were caused by her absence from school, and she accused Steve of making plans with Brooklyn without first consulting her. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.